Okay, good morning. It is Friday the 19th of June. It's just gone about 20 past 8 in the morning. At 8 o'clock this morning, there was a lovely rainbow that just came here. I was just talking to my cat Charlie and saying, after all this dreary weather that we've had, wouldn't it be so nice to actually have a rainbow? Because we had all those horrible dark, murky clouds. And then all of a sudden we had that whiteout everywhere. And then this rainbow appeared. By the time I saw it, I hadn't even done the video on my new camera, which I'm using now. So I've got a nice, what is it? It's a 560 something, which is really modern for me because I'm used to an SLR Rico from the 1980s. So yeah, I'm old school. And by the time I got one of my mobile phones, there was no memory left, so it just didn't work. So I got a couple of photos with this because I didn't know how to use the video function. I've got it sussed out now, and it started to have a bit of a surge just over there. But as you can see, my marker over there with my big tree and around there. I'm not 100% sure of using the monitor instead of using the screen on an iPhone. It's a new experience for me, so you'll have to forgive me. But yeah, maybe it might surge. So obviously that big thing, that big white hazy thing there, is doing something to either attract the rainbow, create the rainbow, or draw on the rainbow. I've been looking into it, and there's a whole heap of technology to do with like a funnel, which again is static and electromagnetic energy, and I really do think that that's what they're doing to stay afloat against like an anti-gravity thing. And to see and hear about Mr. Musk doing the Boring Company with the tunnels and the method of transport that he wants to have take over from any fossil fuel type of technology as an environmental thing. Obviously he's on stage. Just a video came out yesterday. They're hoping to have more casinos online to sign up to have it, and he has the price already expected as to what it will be, which is really reasonable. And to have that ready by the end of the year for passengers that just proves how advanced it all is, and nobody knows. It's sort of, unless you go looking for it, nobody talks about it, nobody's saying about it. All of a sudden it'll just be there, and people will be like, whoa, holy hell, when did this happen? Everyone's so focused on their devices and the negativity of trying to find money or keep a roof over their head or get food on the table for them and their families. It's just horrible. It's horrendous. We've here in Australia obviously are nowhere near as affected as you guys in the States. The Black Lives Matter thing has had some media coverage here, so we're not as isolated as what you guys up north might think. We have our own issues as well. Obviously we have a smaller population, hence our activity is much lower, but I like to use you guys. Not that I use you guys, because I just learn from you guys, is a better way of saying it. I learn from you guys. You guys are 1 or 2 steps ahead. It's like playing chess. You guys are 2 moves ahead. So if you're smart and you plan and you work out contingency plans and you plan other possible moves, you can basically go checkmate on somebody or stop them from winning the game. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I do think that this, if it's not Elon Musk and Skylink that is up in the sky, as I've said before, why do they have to hide? Why are they masking their identity? They have like this veil that comes over it. It's some technology, and he has a patent for it through the Boring Company, and is it Space Organisation Inc. or whatever it is, and it is to do like with this mesh. But obviously the way they're using it and the way it's diagrammed in the patent, and I'm not a chemical engineer, I'm not an electrical engineer, I'm just somebody that has an interest, an inquisitive mind, and the patience and time to go through and find some relevant data, do a few Google searches on what it all means, and see how it the implications of it into what I'm thinking, to see whether it's relevant or not. And they talk about it in the like the veil, like not a mask, but like an all-encompassing, like barrier or force field for the internet, for data. And they're doing it with the Navy. That's how they want to talk or communicate with all of their, there's that rainbow again, how they want to talk and communicate with all of their naval. So I find it really hard to find out where I am. Where am I? Back here. Oh, I don't know where I am, so I'm probably all over the place. I can't really see the rainbow through this camera, but I can see that white thing above it, so it's underneath and below that. Okay, anyway. So yeah, and they want to talk to the submarines, but these things that are in the sky, they are massive. And when I say massive, I don't just mean like a big jumbo plane, rather a little Cessna that you go, parachuting off. These things cover, all of the horizon from, Broadbeach to Surfers Paradise. And when they hover in front, and I'll say hover because they're like a big balloon, like a Zeppelin, but they are not, because they have like this electrical charge that attracts things to them, or they create it. I think they create this masking technology through their some research that they do. I think it has to do with cobalt, which to me is quite interesting. I got my mirror that I'd ordered just after Christmas from Neiman Marcus. We here in Australia, we have it's called Open Borders, and it's where I can buy from Neiman Marcus and get it pretty much delivered, express delivered here, freight delivered, biosecurity, courier to my place for free if I spend over 150 American dollars, which in the Aussie dollars can be, depending on the exchange rate, a really good deal. So I use that for buying a lot of my housing, decorations and things. I've got a nice mirror, which I really like now, and then I've also got a nice lamp, which I got. So I'm sort of got my finger in all ways that I can. And sorry, I'm rambling because I'm trying to find this rainbow again. It's still there. It's just a bit of a haze though in the background, so you can't really see it. I can see underneath, just there. Can't get any closer with my camera. It's a Nikon 560 with the standard lens with the 350 to 700 lens on it. So it gives me not a close view, but gives me a better quality view. So better pixels or dots per square inch, whatever you want to say. So I can actually zoom when I download it onto my devices, which I can't at the moment because they're all full of memory. Because I've just got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos and videos where I'm documenting all of this, because this to me is just unbelievable. And I've seen online that there's someone that has, from I think 2016 or 2017, maybe later, they've seen something similar, masked or hidden or cloaked, whatever you want to say, in the clouds in Austria. And they had an opportunity where whatever it was, their defense mechanism or their shielding mechanism obviously went down, and they were able to take a few photos. Somebody that has a lot more, computer skills or electronic skills or better technology or software was able to get some really, really nice images from it, showing that it's just not one, it's not a, it may look a certain shape or size in the sky, but when you draw in on the closer images, it's actually has little arms and legs hanging off it, so like apertures that come off it, and they are really quite remarkable. So that sort of was very reminiscent of what I've been seeing, so it made me feel confident that I'm not imagining this, I'm not just trying to create some hysteria for myself. This it's been going on since the end of February. March was, my awakening area where I started seeing all of this. because I just moved into this apartment at the end of January. So by the time I unpacked and sort of got myself grounded, that's when I was able to sort of look out the window and see all of this. So you know, it was nice to, I might pull back a bit so then I can focus on it later so everyone can see what's around it. So yeah, it was good to be able to, you know, take some images. I'm so glad I had my devices and that I was able to see this stuff, because on the ground, again, you would not see it. When I went and got my camera, I was showing some of the images on my phone saying, well, this is what I see, this is the distance that I am from these, you know, objects in the sky that I want to try to get good images of, you know, try to figure out which is the best camera, which is the best lens, what filters I might need, you know, and to sort of give me some heads up advice on how I can use that to get these with the best quality with the short amount of time, because, you know, I'm not going to be an expert overnight. And the guy was like, oh, that's really interesting, some of those pictures, wow, you know, are these taken from a plane? I'm like, no, they're taken from my balcony in my apartment, you know. So that sort of gave me a bit of confidence, knowing that, you know, if I'm taking things that I think are unusual for an expert that deals in JB Hi-Fi, which is a big, you know, commercial retailer for electronics here in Australia, who does the photography area and has done photography for years, and thinks my photos are taken from a plane, then I'm not seeing things strange. I'm not imagining this. You know, he's you know, accepting that my images are strange and unusual for the position and the location that I'm in, and the devices that I was using to take them. You know, my 3 phones and my iPad. So that was good. But yeah. So there you go. That rainbow is still there. It's not as good as the one I saw at 8 o'clock this morning, the surprise rainbow. That I was like, holy crap! Grabbed the phone and started filming, but I was talking and shooting, but it was not recording. It was not there. So I was very angry at myself for being unprepared, because I'd said to my cat, we need a rainbow. Let's ask them for a rainbow. How about if not today, maybe tomorrow? Because, you know, we need some brightness, some cheeriness, something nice and bright and vibrant, because we don't want this drab, dreary stuff anymore. And then I go to the bathroom and come back, and holy crap, there's a rainbow. And I say holy crap a lot because I don't want to swear. I'm trying not to swear. But, you know, when you get caught by surprise, sometimes your mouth runs away or your emotions run away with yourself. So, yeah, I'm trying to be very polite. But, yeah, so just pan back around here. As you can see, I'll just I pulled back a bit here. I'm just still getting used to this camera.